Hi, folk. This is Krishnanand Singh, your coach, mentor, and we have today our very special guest, Malvika, who is the Ignite alumni and she's an NID topper. So today in this session, before NID exam, we are thinking to call Malvika to talk about her journey, her prep, what she did, how's the college, and what she would like to suggest you guys for your prep. The both all these things are really very important, so all the entire discussion we have. But yes, before that I would like Malvika to introduce here. Malvika, it's all yours now. Could you please tell about your journey?
Hi sir, thank you for having me. I'm Malvika. I'm currently pursuing MDes in animation film design. I'm a first year student in NID Ahmedabad campus, and I'm happy to be back here after a year, because I remember last year, I think by this time we just finished our NID exam, like that prelims. Yes. And the exam was on 2nd January, and I'm happy to be here. I'm from Kochi. That's also there in my introduction.
So starting with, because all the students, they are preparing now and they are having exam in the corner. So let's start with the exam only, and then we'll come back to your journey and how you have done the prep, how you become a topper, what you have done it, because your rank is not like in a category AIR. So it's really matter when it comes to the, common merit rank and the AIR rank. So starting from here, I would like to know, what do you see the one need to take care while preparing of this exam, NID exam especially? How it is different from CEED or NIFT, to be honest, if you if I have to mention it.
Thing about NID is that especially when it comes to master's exam, it's very specific to your stream, unlike CEED or other exams. Like even I've given MIT ID as well as Srishti, and I got into these colleges as well. But when it comes to NID, they give a huge value for your stream specific section, and try to research about your stream, and don't go into NID because you want to go into NID. I would suggest try to go into the stream and use NID as a path for that, and you will eventually get there. You know what I mean? Like, don't go there for the college. Go there for going into the stream, and you just love the journey in the process.
Well, that's really nice. I would like to know more about your prep, preparation strategy. Well, how you have done the preparation overall.
I was working at the time when I decided to shift. Was when I was in college. I was doing my engineering because everybody was doing their engineering. I thought that's how work life goes. You do a work, you earn money, and you lead a good life with the money you earn. You need not necessarily like your job. It just happens. And then I think one day in college, I saw the topper learning in his free time. And I went and asked him, like, why are you learning this now? It's not in our syllabus yet. And he's like, no, I like learning. I like learning to code in my free time. And I was like, oh, I like to learn how to draw in my free time. And then it hit me. I was like, oh, I should do a job where I can draw every day. Because, if I can learn in my free time, then that's going to be amazing in my work, because I'm going to be happy about going to my work. And but unfortunately, by the time I graduated, there was COVID, and I had to take up a job because changing streams was a little too hectic and unpredictable. Way too much of unpredictability during that time. So I took up a job, and it was online. And a few months in, and I knew I wanted animation. My final year project in college was a 3D game, so that when I go into animation, I can use that on my portfolio.
Yeah.
So it had both coding and a bit of 3D design, arena design, and everything. So like everybody else did coding for actual projects, while I did coding for a multimedia, entertainment industry project. And my faculty was quite skeptical about it. They were like, why are you doing this for entertainment? So like, I had to make them understand that, there's actual money on the line for creative decisions made.
Yeah.
And so it was a different world altogether.
Correct.
And when I was at my job, I came to know about NID, and I realized this is one of the paths that I can take to go into animation if I have to go into animation. I had good support from my family. So I decided by the time of April or May, I thought I'll leave my job and I'll go for a coaching institute. But then everywhere I went to, they suggested that I do it parallelly. And I started researching, and I came across several coaching centers. And I came across Ignite India, and they had a demo class, which was very unique because no other coaching centers had a demo class. Like without me asking, they never gave me a demo class. And the demo class was conducted by Vijender sir. And that gave me a good idea of what design thinking is going to be, or what design learning is going to be. And I was like, I'm signing up for this right now. And that's how I ended up in Ignite India. And I'm really happy I took that decision because I had a feeling I would be very tired after the job to work for my dream. So I decided to go for a coaching center so that I'll be more disciplined in my learning journey. So like even after my job, after 5 o'clock, I have a homework that I have to submit by tomorrow. So I'll sit and do my work. And by the end of the week, I'll have a collection of homeworks, and that will just show some or the other kind of progress.
Okay.
So
So I think Ignite India has helped you in this way. So every day you have a class or assignment. So though you are having office, but still you are disciplined enough to complete these assignments.
yes, definitely. Because I'm held accountable, and that too by mentors like Sanjay sir, Vijender sir, and Shruti ma'am. Vijender sir had taken the weekday classes, weekend classes was taken by Sanjay sir, and Shruti ma'am took our English classes, beginning a few classes, and also during the studio test time, she was my guide. And so, they taught from how to sit while drawing, how to hold your pencil, to how to handle anxiety. So it was not just, like drawing faces and drawing human figures. It was like from the beginning, from scratch, like how do you start? How do you approach a question? And how to understand what is the intention of the question. Like it not, instead of just randomly drawing whatever you want to draw. Like, and I also understood that there were people I personally know right now. There were people who have done animation in their bachelor's, but they didn't qualify the DAT exam.
Oh.
And because of that, they couldn't show their portfolio. So our faculties mentioned that you have to, like, you can show yourself, like your work, only if you qualify the DAT exam. So don't take it lightly. And one of the best exercises that I learned was just drawing lines and like drawing straight lines. Like I never thought something that looked so simple could have a lot of effect on your final drawing, because once you do that, your strokes are going to be a lot more confident, and that's going to give you that's going to save a lot of time in the exam hall. Like when you're very anxious and your hand knows how to work, it just goes, your creativity just flows. Like when you have a plan, it just flows. And also understood the idea of like drawing within the time given, because no matter how creative you are and how much you can think up, and how unique your idea is going to be, if you cannot put it in paper and convey what you think within the time given, the person who's going to correct is not going to know how creative you are or how unique your idea is. So I learned that, and I got to speak to a lot of alumni from Ignite India who were at NID, at NIFT, and just pick up points like from here and there, how they handled their stress. Because towards the last few days towards the exam, you get really stressed out about the fact I didn't finish GK. There's maths to practice more. So these kind of questions keep coming into our heads. So at one point you have to let go of GK and the other things. And we're like, what's going to happen is going to happen. Right now I'm just going to practice slides because that's what's going to save time. And I was, as a master student, I was put into, there are only few master students who come to coaching centers compared to the bachelor students who apply.
Yes.
So we are in mixed classrooms. There'll be like 2 master students within a group of like 10 other bachelor's kids, like kids who go to school. So I knew few of my friends who were applying for masters felt like, no, we're learning with kids, but like eventually we're learning, and whatever we're gonna learn, like whatever we're gonna learn is not going to be wasteful. If it's not there in the exam, it's going to come up eventually somewhere. So if if suppose we learn 3-point perspective, and 3-point perspective is never asked in the question, and you never try it without asking, it's going to be eventually useful to you at some point. So I would suggest anybody who's going to apply next year is knowledge is knowledge, so don't shy away from it.
No, we would like, even, if you have some question which comes in a mind in between, so do come and ask. Like suppose you always ask something, so then we get to know, okay, what helps is required, right? And if we fix some dynamic, there is a reason why we wanted that. Like suppose if we see NID MDS or NID bachelor, so what you're talking about right now, some pointer, given time, you have to complete the work. You have met couple of alumni, strategy management, let the thing go. This is applicable for everyone. It is a common, right?
Yeah.
A lot of things that which comes in, if you look in a Venn diagram mode, so 70-80% things is quite common. And
Yes.
when there is a 10 creative mind, you get 10 different idea. It's easy to do the question, right? So that's the reason. I mean, you will see in a master question that we give in a bachelor paper also. Why? Because we want student to prepare in that level. Like there's a question which is coming in my mind right now: 10 unconventional uses of the helmet. Now, if the one individual is doing this question, or 10 kids of the group is doing this question, how it will be easier if 10 different mind is doing that question, right? We'll get a more idea, we'll get a more concern. So, I mean, very nice inputs are here, Malvika. I would like to know from you here, you have talked about the exam, and now exam is on head, like, looking at given time or alumni or exam strategy, or like, what things you have learned and how it helps, and what was your specific input from your side? Obviously, Ignite has helped you that you manage, but examination hall, examination day, to be honest, individual have to manage their exam. So I'm very frankly on that. So what do you see, how unique you were, why you got a top rank, and what do you think if somebody who's a very, like, said many people have not cleared the DAT exam, though they are very good. I know also there are people you are amazing in their industrial work, working industry from last 4-5 years, but still they don't able to clear the DAT prelims. The reason being is they don't, like, overall they don't score what required for that prelims. Maybe somewhere around 70%, 65 to 70% marks is required for your that prelims. So what do you see? What was the unique in you overall? Like after all the input, what has given apart from that? And how do you manage your exam day stress or overall management? If you can recall and say, because that will help them a lot. I mean, all our viewer and student, it will be helpful for them.
Coming to what was my strategy for the DAT exam, my main intention was to qualify the DAT exam, not to score a big rank in the DAT exam, the prelims exam. And so that I can get an opportunity to show my work to them. I can get to speak to them and show that I really want this, and show my dedication. And that's what they're looking for also, I guess. How enthusiastic you are to show your work in your personal interview, and how you cope with your questions. So I wanted to get to that stage. So that was my priority. That was my, I specifically focused on that so that I can qualify for that round. And how I went about it was that I realized human figure was important, and something that a lot of people skip on. Like I looked into solved question papers by people that is put up on blogs, put up on YouTube, and I realized that not a lot of people focus on facial expressions. So if I can bring facial expressions, that's going to be good. And so I learned how to put together facial expressions. Like you can put raised eyebrows and squinted eyes and open mouth for one expression. Otherwise, and you can use that expression on a composition to convey more than what you convey otherwise. So that was one of the strategically speaking, that was one of the things I kept in mind while going for the NAT exam. I wanted to focus on facial expression specifically because of the fact that I'm applying for animation film design. I had a feeling that it's going to be helpful anyway. And I also learned how to draw animals in the last few days, like the basic animals like elephants, cows and dogs, so that I can use them in a composition. And that was quite helpful. That did help because we had a question where we had to draw an imaginary creature, and they showed a side profile of that creature, and they asked to write a story and draw a scene from it. So because of the fact that I had basic understanding of what, structural understanding of an elephant and, how its legs are going to be, how the proportion is going to be, it was easier to imagine it in a different angle with with expressions in a cinematic angle. So this was my basic prep before it. And when it comes to that,
what I can conclude here, the points are you said, so you have done the few character or maybe a different creature which you have used in your composition and element. So you have
that was a question. Yeah, that was a question we had. So they gave us a character, and that was an amalgamation of different animals, like a side profile of that character, and they told us gave us a gist or something, and we had to write a story, and we had to draw a scene from that story. So that was a question that we had last year. And because of the fact that I learned how to, understand the basic structure of common animals that will come up in these kind of questions, it was easier to attempt these questions.
Yeah. So while there are pointer here, which is the exist point, what Malvika has added on. It's very important. I'll talk about it. Before that, Hariom Singh and Aditya, two of you have asked the live question here. Sir, NID exam, computer-based hoga? No, you have to write the exam. You have to complete your paper. This is what. Well, let's see last year how it was. We'll ask Malvika only. Like how you have given the exam last year, Malvika?
It was pen and paper. For us, it was pen and paper. And we had a couple of rules, like we shouldn't, if they find out that, we are unwell in the exam hall, they will ask us to go. And some of us were very scared, but they were quite nice, and none of those things happened. We had to wear a mask at all times, and it was like fogging up my glasses. So I had trouble writing my exam. So I took off my glasses and I wrote my exam without glasses because I could see the things near me. So that wasn't a problem. I'm just giving a heads up for people who will have to write it that way. Or, carry a microfiber so that you can clean. And regarding the stress on that day, I would suggest not to look around. Don't look at anybody else's paper. Just focus on your paper. Because if you look around and you see somebody else's work, and if you find that it is much better than your work, it's going to affect you. There's a good chance that it's going to affect you. So help yourself. Don't let that happen. Just focus on your work. And they're going to be, you may or may not meet different kinds of students within your exam hall who may or may not say that they have a lot of experience in the animation industry or with animation. So don't get or any other field that you want to go to. Don't get overwhelmed by that. The kid who was sitting in front of me was, he turned around and he asked me, what is your background? And I was like, I did engineering. Like, yeah, I'm BFA. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. This boy learned how to draw for 4 years, and I'm writing a competitive exam where he's also there. So that was quite scary. And people, there were a couple of, I think 3 kids behind me who were talking about softwares, what softwares to use. They were talking about Unity 3D, Unreal Engine, and they were talking about Maya and Blender. And I was like, oh, wait, I have worked in Unity 3D before. So just, just shut down everything around you and just like focus on your work. And
that's like, in my word, if you say, I always say calm and compose. You make sure that keep yourself calm and composed in examination hall. Do not let things to affect which is going around. Well, I mean, it's a very good insight how to manage the exam day ka pressure, what you have said. And here some student having a pressure is, sir, last few days study strategy. That's what Malvika is discussing all about, how she become a topper, what should be the strategy. So watch the video, Aditya, since starting to end. We are in middle of this. So you will get all the idea of a strategy is. It's not in a one line to say. Yeah, Malvika, you want to add on something?
Yeah, sure. Like if if you find like if you feel like it's too much to learn in the last few days and you're too stressed to do any work at all, just practice lines, straight lines, standing lines, sleeping lines. Draw dot point A, point B, one line to connect those two dots. This is gonna help you a lot, and it is gonna give you a feeling that you practiced a lot, and at the same time, it is going to like improve your stability also. So that's a good exercise in the last few days. Don't overwhelm yourself with GK, because GK is going to be either you know it or you don't know it. Last few days, don't pick up that pressure.
So I would like you guys, because I see many of you are asking the question and continuously are watching the video. So make sure many of you yet to subscribe in a backend, I can see. So you subscribe the channel, you will get a lot of input from here, and you like you share this video also. So like you other student will get the help. Here the next question is, what is your rank D? So I want you to say your rank. Like
my rank was 4 in general category.
Yeah, that's a AIR rank 4, right?
All India rank 4 in general.
Yeah, it's in general category. Now, Hariom Singh, the next question is, which type question is more in number in part A? See, the part A question type, when I have to discuss, I'll say Malvika to give her insight what was the question she can remember from the exam paper and her practice. And yes, before that, I would like to tell you a few points. Ignite India, there's a resource file right now. We have in online also, they can write the test paper. How we have in our app last year, Malvika, that is there in our app they have. And a website also, they can go in a study material, like they can take an aptitude test and they can see in which segment, which part, how much time they are taking it. All the analytic will come, all the average will come. Okay, where you have to practice more, what is the feedback, how the question is. So if you are interested, that you can let us know. And then we have rank booster classes. For 3 days, it is expert class and suggestion, like how Malvika is talking about, some the other topper, then the faculty, what they think, what sort of question will come. So how you manage overall exam strategy. So you can register with us like exam booster class, and it's going to help you for NID or IIT, UCEED, CEED or NIFT. And it's hardly anything. It's like, you have to pay, like suppose test paper, just $200 you have to pay, and you are accessible for all. So why minimum we charge? The reason is to have a serious participation. So we stop having during COVID, we have many free batches. So now we stop having it because we want a serious participation and you should participate there. So if one who is serious enough, they can come contact us. You can't, you can get the free suggestion also. Ignite is always up for you, but just let us know. Now, I would like Malvika suggestion about part A question. What do you suggest? What sort of question you think is come more in part A?
I expected math questions, but math questions was less. I expected art history questions, but this is last year's. I can only say last year's.
Yes.
Like any specific experience. It may change this year. So my experience, I expected art history. There was little to no art history. I expected a lot of math questions, but there were little to no math questions. And it was what really was unexpected was passage reading. So we had very lengthy passages, multiple ones, and then we had a set of questions, and we had to read through the whole thing or read the questions and then back, however you prefer. But it's a very, very large passage, and if your reading speed has to be quite good, and you should not get overwhelmed just by seeing the passage size. I think that's what happened to me. I got really overwhelmed and I was not able to complete part A within time, and I had to guess. So, which I'm not really proud of. But so, if since you guys have the time already, I would suggest solving passage questions can be a good way to utilize the time right now, because it's just increasing your reading speed. So just keep reading and read through the questions, or other way around, however works for you. Read the questions first and then read the passage, and you'll be able to solve that within time. The other questions are mostly general knowledge. We had one question about one of the tribes of Andaman and Nicobar Islands, and we had art and culture of different states coming up, and nothing to stress about, only things that you can handle. Passive questions is the easy way to score a lot of marks, because the answer is already there. So I would recommend increasing your reading speed right now, if possible.
Well, I mean, that's really very, very important input what you're talking it right now. The one student having a question is, or maybe we can see also, what do you see, I mean, difference, because you guys have prepared well, and importance, you said also that prelims importance and the second round importance, what has to be focused, and how overall the one will get the rank or result.
So if I'm not wrong, the second round has more weightage than the first round.
Yes, that's true.
And so the second round is going to be basically two sections. Three. So one, you have to prepare a portfolio, you have to be ready for an interview, and then you have the studio test. So if you can make good portfolio and give a good interview and do a decent work, like decent enough work in studio test, you have a good chance of getting in. So your portfolio is one thing that doesn't have any time limit or any rules or regulations as such, unlike the studio test and like what is put forward to you during the interview. So for us, we were asked to take like present 3 projects, but for me, what I did was that I made an animated film, a short film, which was 3 minutes long, and I have no idea on how to make an animated film, and that was my intention, because I knew that this was, a lot of people are trying for this. So I tried to find alumni's names from a portfolio tab in NID website, and I searched their names on Instagram or their Behance, and I messaged them, I contacted them, and I asked them how their experience was in the interviews and how what was their mindset while putting together the portfolio. And one of the super seniors told me that nowadays kids are going with animated clips. So like small animations put together. So so me being from not a design background, I thought, okay, let's go an extra mile and let's make an animated film so that it is clear to those who are seeing me at the end of the day that I really want this. Like there's no question about that. There's no doubt about that. And that was my intention. So I made an animated film. It was part of a UI UX project that was headed by Vijendra sir.
Yeah.
And so I put that together. And I think before a few days, like the day before the exam, make sure you call all your mentors because they can really help you. Like personally call them, and they're very sweet. Like Sanjay sir really took the time to explain to me that you're going to be fine, just calm down, and that kind of talk really comes from only mentors. That kind of talk doesn't come from peer to peer. So do call them, and they're there to help you out. So yeah, coming back to the mains preparation, I made an animated film. That was one of my projects. And the main reason what I told was why I was interested in animation was because I trained in classical dance for 9 years. So I told them, and because of that fact, I like to learn expressions. I learned to learn body movements. And I like to draw. So it took a while for me to put 2 and 2 together. And that was my approach. So because of the fact that I was going in that direction, when I did an expression chart that was put in my portfolio, I drew it as Navarasa. So so that they will know that this expression chart is not copied from Pinterest, because it is something related to my interest. So everything you put in your portfolio has to be related to you. Like I also put my 3D game, like my RPG game in it, and the report of it, because that was my 4th year project, and I made it so that I can present a project in my engineering college as well as have a design project to later on go into the field. So that was also related to my experience, my past, and quite personal. So they know that these projects are not randomly done. And yeah, so like go with sketchbooks. If also have the habit of carrying a sketchbook around and drawing what you see, because because you notice a lot of stories around you when you do that, and maybe you can use those kind of stories in your portfolio for the same. Because in your interview, all the questions that you're going to get is mostly from your portfolio, like why you did this project, what was the inspiration behind it. But so don't get overwhelmed in your interviews. For example, if you draw a lot of anime, they can ask you like, so does this mean that you're not patriotic? And vagera, vagera. So don't get overwhelmed. Just be pleasant and smile and say like, maybe that you like learning from all different kinds of sources, whether it's Indian or not Indian. So just answer with meaning, rather than randomly answer. Take a few seconds, think about it, and then answer. You're gonna do fine.
Well, there are a few questions which quickly I would like to answer. Here, one of the students has asked NID, asked for a portfolio in BDES. Yes, in 2020, if you'll see, they have asked BDES student to submit the portfolio. Usually, exam pattern for NID BDES is you have that prelims, and after that, you have a studio test, where the whole day test you have, and there are different tests. And like, that's there the simultaneously in a master also, but master student, they must have to submit their portfolio also, which Malvika was explaining in a detail to you right now. And what we have see here, the overall learning and understanding of this, I personally also know many of my batchmates or junior and college junior, like, you should not, there's a very thin line between confidence and overconfidence. So what I see in a Malvika, she's obedient enough, thinking about the teacher, taking a guideline every step, following the mentor. So this help you to make you a obedient one. Then they look at in an interview and in your exam also that you are quite confident enough, and it's moving towards the overconfidence. Such a student institution do not want to take. Because to be honest, I have also seen like how you are talking about in examination hall, you see where there are very brilliant, obedient kids. Yes, there are so many students or so many of you are capable enough to crack the exam, but you are not able to crack. The reason is not you're not like the one who can't. You are, but maybe you are missing it something. Maybe you are not understanding it. What is the question requirement? Maybe what requirement is you are doing more than that. So that's what the mentorship help you to grow. If like, if I'm wrong, correct me, Malvika, because you recently have experience. And that's what you're talking in your journey. This happened in examination hall, and other of your friend. And that's, we are seeing it since long. 10 years back, it happens with me also. My friend who are maybe much better than me in a general category, or maybe all that. I mean, they are in OBC, maybe I'm in general, I clear, they may not be clear, or their drawing is amazing. So don't be very spectacle, or don't be very too much into self-obsessed, I would say, like, okay, I'm good in this. Keep open for a learning, develop overall ability for an NID exam or NIFT exam or UCEED CEED exam, and give your best in the exam. This is very, very important. Be learner throughout your journey. Right, Malvika? I hope what I'm saying, that point really matter, right?
Definitely. It's the like I said, knowledge is knowledge. So like, if you get to learn something, you're here for that, you paid for that. So you have plenty of classes, so go for it, learn. When I was solving these papers, what Vijender sir and Sanjay sir was telling me was that you apply all, like, practice with all kinds of question papers, even NATA question papers. Like, don't just stick to MDes animation, solve for everything, so that you know no matter what kind of question comes, you'll be able to solve. because you
Correct.
can't predict what's going to come in your question paper this year. So let's be prepared for everything. Be excited for your to see, you know, what are the questions that they're going to put forward to you, and be happy to do the work. So um, learn everything that you can. Everything's around you. Design is that way, as far as I understand. So go for it.
Yeah, and obviously there are the strategies, set up the question and what you need to do it in last few days, last few minutes, or last few hours, and that's what we are here for. We'll guide you, we'll mentor you. Anyone who is preparing anywhere and however, and you need any help, and you feel like, okay, no, this is where I stuck, or what Malvika said, last minute you should talk to the mentor. Though you are not enrolled with us, you can share your detail, you can WhatsApp us, you can contact us. We'll try to mentor you, we'll try to guide you where you are getting stuck. We would love to help you.
And then, like, not just in the DAT exam, like before my interview, during that time Shruti ma'am was like
Yes.
supporting me, guiding all of us through the studio test strategies and everything. And she was quite available, and like down to the things like what should we wear to look formal and look polished, and like the kind of shoes that we should wear, and like wear something comfortable, and don't try to wear heels or so those kind of things. You won't think about it if you are just occupied with anxiety. So it's nice to have a mentor to just look out for you, and so like make use of that. Do call them often. I'm sure all the faculties I had, Vijan sir, Sanjay sir, Shruti ma'am, who was there from that prelims, mains, portfolio, and studio tests, they were very sweet and very available. And I had a couple of friends who were students of sir here, and also Mukesh sir happened to come to the center to see all the kids who were coming out of the center. Even though he's not teaching us, so there's a lot of people working for this. So do reach out to them if you need help.
No doubt. I mean, the blessed with having an amazing team. Every minute there is input from everyone, and they make this possible. And having such a lovely or dedicated student also like you, who are continuously being a part of, and that's what the beauty of Ignite India. The one who is studying and one who is pass out and one is alumni. You always a part of this family, and that's what together make us the biggest online platform and the offline association and many classes. Today also we just have a new tie-up in Mysore where we are starting a classes and a batch, so that's all possible because of the overall team which is going on. We can say it circulation mode, what we study and we learn. So obviously it's really amazing. So yes, I would like to invite you again. Don't want to make it the one session pretty long. They have a lot of questions, importance of color, ideation. Yes, those questions answer in a short. I'll tell you, it is very important how importantly you are putting it together. How much gender knowledge? Yes, the gender knowledge question, no one can fix this particular number of the gender knowledge. What I believe is around 30 to 40% out of your 30 marks aptitude question, 30 to 40% questions are related to general knowledge and general study, right, Malvika? That is how somewhat the ratio is.
Not wrong. Yeah, that's how it works.
To
focus on English because especially passage reading, because we had a lot of questions for that, and the answer is on the paper itself. So that's a great way to get a lot of marks in part A.
Yeah. By the way, how many questions was there? One big passage, how many questions was there? I
think about 4 or 5 questions were there, and they were 4 passages, or maybe even more passages. There was a lot of passage questions and a lot of sub questions for the passages. So, and the question and the answer is there on the paper. So you don't even have to worry about whether you know it, whether you learned it some time ago. You just have to read it peacefully and read it within time. So if you're worried about it, try to solve those question papers if you have them. Yeah. So there are so many questions which is repeating, or maybe Malvika has already answered also. So I believe I will suggest you, Ansika and Sahil, you may go and check what she said about the GK, what she said about the part A prep, part B prep, how she has done the preparation, what was her journey.
because I would like to conclude. Before that, I would like to know the college journey, what is going on, that she will share right now. And if you watch the complete video since starting, you will get all these pointers. Starting itself, we have mentioned, and that things has covered. Make sure you like the video, subscribe the channel, share this video with your friend. Number also I have mentioned here in the chat. So if you have joined just now, just check those number which is here mentioned in Ignite chat. You can contact us for marks booster or result booster classes. And I would like to know from you, Malvika, now, how's your college journey? Like, you know, you have ended the semester, you are in holiday now. How's the overall journey in the college?
It's take it from somebody who's already been to a college. This is the best education system I've been into, because the campus itself, like structural wise, it's standing since 1962, I'm guessing. Yeah. And still standing strong, and everybody over there, they have their own individuality. They have a way of standing out in the crowd, in their own way. And the whole bunch, like everyone has their own perspective on colors and how they use colors, and how the different methods they would use to tell stories that they see around them every day. Even though they, in my class, there are people who studied BFA for 4 years or 5 years, and I was very overwhelmed when I walked into a class because I have no experience as such. And I always felt like, oh, there's a lot to work to get there. But the fact is that if you just sit there and draw, they'll be drawing your sketchbook, they'll come and they'll look at your work and focus on the line weight, and they'll tell and they'll give you opinions over there, which is so insightful. And you help each other out, and they may have a problem with their their software or their hardware, and we can help them out. And there's a kid who's good in geology who loves drawing creatures, and you learn creature design from him. And the whole group comes together in the first 6 weeks, where we learn the fundamentals together. And from morning to evening, it's just drawing. And they mostly focus on traditional drawing, especially in the first semester, because once that is strong, you can draw anywhere with whatever tools you have. So your entire, at one point, morning I'll go to college, I'll draw till evening, and I won't even realize that time is going by. And at the end of the day, I'll have full graphite marks here. And we started as a group, as a class, we would go to the market with carrying sketchbook and watercolors, and sit there and sketch the whole story, everybody we see over there. And these people who are selling everyday goods, they'll start posing for us after some time, and they'll sit there and they'll pose, and they're speaking in Gujarati, and I have no idea what they're saying, but they're very sweet and very kind. And we go into museums and we sit and draw over there. We can see people go for a chai and sit over there and draw each other. And it's not just animation kids, when we sit and draw, animation kids have a have a rule. We have to submit multiple sketchbooks at our jury. We are expected to submit multiple sketchbooks in our jury for sure, because it's part of our job. So when we vigorously draw, there'll be people from film and video communication, from graphic design, who will come and will sit there and pose for us. They'll be like, yeah, draw me. And we'll all sit there and we'll draw, and we'll get together in houses and we'll cook food and we'll draw each other. So it's the whole process is just, learning to do what you love. And that experience is quite rare these days. And I went on a journey that was completely different. And engineering is a good stream, but there are a lot of kids who doesn't know about designing and choose engineering because of that. Luckily, all people here are, aware of the fact that they can follow their dreams, and this is a legit path to take. So make use of it. There's a good place that you can be. So just put your heart into it and work. And hopefully see most of you in college next year.
And I'm so proud of you. I've seen you while preparing, and the kind of from zero you have started, being an engineer, and lost like, okay, did I, or am I like I can? And from there, all the journey what you have. So it's really amazing. And it's all about your self-belief, no doubt. Ignite and team, we are there for all of them. But I keep saying this student, there's no magic we have. We try, we put the effort, we are available there. Like now also you see Sanjay sir, he was in continuously in your contact because he want this content goes to other students. They should get the help from it. So we are there for all of you, but how much help you want and how much you feel confident is very important. There are students saying, I'm feeling nervous, I'm in anxiety or tension. Malvika has explained very nicely in this entire content. Watch the complete video. It will obviously help you. If you have just started watching, please go since starting and just see the journey. A little girl and the girl who don't know about the design life and how this journey is, how it started in her college, even few things I don't know. I mean, how you have get inspired from your toppers of the college, and from there you have thought about it. So it's a very raw journey what you have. It's very amazing, very nice. I mean, it's easy to find someone, having a 4-5 year design journey or somebody from BFA and all. But to be honest, I would like to say for all the students who have just started preparing or may not be from design background, if you look the NID, any campus, any course, 70% students are not from design background in that batch. Most of them, 60 to 70% in any of the course, if you pick, they don't have, right? In your batch also, there are few designers, there are few fine art students, but half of them or more than half of them is not from design background. They look engineers also. There are the normal grad also. So every kind of the crowd is there in that 19 batch, right?
Yes, right. Especially even our seniors were telling that the 2022 batch is quite versatile. Yeah. Like I said, there's geology, there's physics, there's BFA, there's architecture, there's civil engineers, there's NIFT for graduates. Yes. It's a very mixed bunch. We all are hardworking, and at the same time, we have this mentality to help each other, which is so good, which feels so good, because that's not easy to find everywhere. I think design, the whole mindset itself is learning from each other, and that's quite nice, unlike engineering, because since design is a very visual industry, you know it when you see it, and you can ask directly, like, why is this the way it is? But engineering is not like that. Engineering, you need to go through the work, you need to read the code, or you need to do the code by yourself to understand why one did this way, and then get to the person why you did this way. So it takes time to get to the root of the problems or the analysis. But in visual design, it happens quite fast, and help also comes quite fast.
True, very true. So yes, Malvika, I will invite you in a special classes there. You give your inputs to the students, and it was a very long stage. We have not planned even though for this long content, but yeah, it's a very insight, very helpful, and very, very genuine insight, which will obviously help the student. And we'll take all your questions. The last question, what I'm taking here is, what was the cutoff of previous year? What was your marks in a part A last year?
I'm not sure. It's been a year.
Yeah,
I'm so sorry. I don't remember.
Yeah, but I will tell you in general, be it B-Dash or M-Dash or particular course you are writing in, the cutoffs are...
My rank is that okay?
Yeah, rank is the 4, and the normally, yeah, obviously topper knows the rank, but I'll tell you the minimum cutoff.
After my first round, my rank was 14. All India rank was 14. And after the studio test and the portfolio, my rank was 4.
Yeah, so, 4, that's nice. So that's what you see, here you can see very nicely the one student who is very good in drawing or art, or maybe have done really well even the first part. But overall, what your journey is, how you are taking things. So you can be 14-4 also. I know a student who is having a rank 1 in the first round, and after second round, it's become a rank 30. So the both hand we see, we have a lot of student. That means we have a case study. 10,000 plus student I mentor, and 25,000 plus student got a mentorship with Ignites. So in this journey, including design, architecture, all the courses. So we have number of case studies. So any kind of the condition, if you are going on and you feel like, I'm nervous, I have anxiety, this is what VC from so many years. So do let us know. We would love to help you. We would love to guide you as per your situation, your mindset, and your approach. And yes, we are truly blessed having such an amazing crowd. You all are, and our alumni. That's motivate us again and again. So thank you so much, Malvika, for joining us today.
For having me.
And I wish you have very, very happy New Year, all of our viewers and students. And as well as I want the last message would come from you only before ending this session. So what you want to say to all of them, be their exam is in a corner, if any suggestion, anything, and at the end. So that's you can give, and make sure you like, subscribe, share this video, share with your friends. So I want more and more students to get benefited out of it. Yeah, over to you, Malvika.
Just say, don't half-heartedly do it, and don't get overwhelmed by this. Be excited for your question. What's going to happen is going to happen. Just have a fun time. Have fun while doing the questions, or while solving the questions, and while doing your work. Because at the end of the day, that's why you picked design, so that because you like what you do, and you're not pushed into this, unlike a lot of other streams out there. So keep that in mind. Have fun, and it's okay. Whatever is going to happen is going to happen. Focus on yourself. Don't look around much, and stick to the time. Doodle a little before you start drawing. Making your final drawing. Don't go back and rub a lot. Just go with the flow, and don't wait for your results to come to start working on your portfolio. Just after your exam, take a few days, start thinking about your projects that you want to put in your portfolio and how you want to present it. In your interview, keep smiling, even if they are serious and not smiling. Keep smiling. Don't give back answers. Give intellectual answers. Be honest with your work. And sorry, I used the word intellectual. What I meant is give your answers after some certain amount of thought. Don't just simply say what is coming to your head and at the first go itself. Just be yourself. Have fun. This is the main advice that I got from people who graduated NID when I was writing my exam. So I hope it's useful to you guys as well.
Well, thank you so much, Malvika.